Hi guys, my name's Sean, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about card twirling. Card twirling is something you can add into your cardistry video or routine that'll give it that extra flair. Looks really cool if you do it right, but it does take a lot of practice. The practice definitely pays off in the end because the cards look like they're doing something really complex when really it's more about using the momentum and the inertia of the card to get that exact kind of twirl that you want. So today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks that I came up with to improve my own card twirling that I hope will improve yours. So let's get into it. So the first move that we're going to be talking about in card twirling is called flicker, and it looks like this. It's a very fast and flashy card twirl, and it'll get you started on card twirling. It's pretty simple, even though it looks kind of complex, and it can be done over and over, and even transitioned into other card twirling moves. So here's how to do it. Basically, this is the Virts move, so all credit goes to the Virts. I did not come up with this. It's fantastic though. What I do is I take my index finger and thumb and put it on the top and bottom in the middle of the card, like this. So these fingers are free to do whatever. And what they're going to do is they're going to reach around as the thumb and index pull in, and that middle finger is going to make contact with that end of the card over here, like so. Next, I'm just going to extend and clip the card between my index and middle. So from the beginning, we're here, bring in and extend like that. Now as you do that, the key to flicker is the wrist movement. So when you extend, make sure to turn your wrist over like that, and that's what's going to give it that spinning look. So extend and turn over. Like I said, guys, this is going to take a lot of practice, but the practice definitely pays off. So from here, turn over. So right now your middle finger should be on top of the card, and the card should be face down. Next, all you're going to do is rotate your wrist back. As you kind of rotate these fingers around each other, and your thumb is going to make contact with the bottom corner and flick it towards the front. So you should end up with the back facing towards you again. So one more time, we'll grab the outer end of the card with the middle finger, extend and flip over at the same time, kind of rotating your fingers around each other, and flip your wrist back, pushing with the thumb. At full speed it looks like this. And like I said before, it can be taken into variations of flicker, which we'll cover in just a second. So here we are, thumb's on top, or sorry, thumb is in the middle and index is in the middle of the card. Reach around with your index like so, grab the top, or I'm sorry, the outer end, and extend as you turn your wrist over. And as you turn it back, rotate your fingers around each other and have that thumb push the card forward. So in slow motion, like that. One of the more important things about flicker is to use the card's weight with it. Even though it doesn't weigh that much, it can still be used to get that smooth flicking motion. So you want to think about the flow of the card. So when you're here and you extend, the card is going to want to naturally fall this way because of gravity and air. But you're going to use that. So what I'm saying is you want to have a light touch with your hand. You don't want to, be really stiff with it, otherwise it's not going to look that great. But just have a really light touch, and the Virts talks about this in their tutorial on YouTube. Just have a really light touch with the card and just let it, flow. And you'll feel it if you have that light touch on the card. When you do it, you'll feel it kind of weighing back this way, and then you just want to flip it back. So just have more of a light touch when you're doing card twirling, because that is one of the most important things when you're, or at least one of the most important things that I can think of when you're card twirling. So with that, let's move on to flicker 1.5, which is like flicker, but just a little more. So here is flicker 1.5. It looks like this. It ends up with the card facing the opposite direction than when you started. So if I start with the back facing you, it's going to end up with the face facing you. And this is kind of a cool move because it gives that card even more of a spin. And it just looks really flashy, and it'll take a lot of practice to get your fingers used to the movement, but it's definitely worth it. So first you need to know flicker. So I don't know if you just skipped to this portion of the video, but I did teach flicker just a second ago. So learn flicker. Once you learn flicker, here's what's going to happen. You're not going to use that thumb to push the card forward. You're just going to keep spinning the card, and your ring finger is actually going to come over and make contact with the card here. And it's going to keep twirling, and then your thumb is going to push forward. So it's a lot like flicker, just a little bit more. So flicker, as you turn back, your ring finger is going to make contact and keep on twirling, and your thumb is going to kind of come through in the end there. One more time. So flicker. As your fingers rotate around each other, the ring finger is going to come up on top here. This is the part that's going to take practice, and rotate around. And your wrist is still, taking a part in that. So your wrist is turned over here. My wrist is turning over as the ring finger makes contact and turns over the card. So I'm not immediately turning it over like flicker. I'm flickering. Don't turn it over yet, put the ring finger there, and then turn it over. So at full speed, like that. You're going to do flicker, and as your as your fingers rotate around each other, your ring finger grabs that card and flips it over as your wrist turns over. So flicker 1.5 is a lot like flicker, as you probably saw. The only difference is that your ring finger is turning the card just a little bit more, and your wrist turns a little bit later. That doesn't mean that you still can't use the card's momentum with the card, if that makes sense. I'm saying still have a light touch on the card, because that's what's going to sell the twirling motion a lot better. And let's get into Jik's twirl, or Jik's one card twirl. I don't know, he calls it one card twirl, but I'm just going to call it Jik's twirl. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so this is Jikh Mueller's one card twirl that he uses in a bunch of his videos. Basically, it's flicker 1.5 and then like a 0.5 more. He does a shot, but I took the shot out of there. It looks like that, and it looks really good on camera, especially when you have like a high shutter speed going on. But anyway, you're going to take the card, do your flicker, come back, flicker 1.5, and I use my thumb to help push around to get my pinky going on there. So the card is now clipped, or like sandwich, I guess you could say, like this. So one more time, we'll get to that position. You're holding it here, do your flicker, rotate around, flicker 1.5. Oops, try not to drop the card. So you're here, you're here, flicker, rotate the card for the flicker 1.5. Keep going, use the thumb to push around and get your pinky on the card. Just like this. So you're stuck in this position. When you're here, he does this nice little one of these, and all that is turn your hand face up, fingers come in, turn your hand face down, fingers come out. That's what I do, and it looks pretty nice. So from the beginning, flicker, don't turn your wrists, rotate the fingers, get that thumb to help out, and clip it here, hand up, curl in, hand down, curl out. From here, he does some sort of shot, which I can't really do. And what I just do is I just let go of my ring finger, so it's clipped between the pinky and ring. I'm sorry, I let go of my middle finger, so it's clipped between the pinky and ring, and I just rotate up like that. So flicker and rotate up. I'll give you guys a front view just so you guys can get it. So from the front, Jik's twirl looks like this. Slow that down a little bit. Basically do your flicker, rotate your fingers around each other, use that thumb to help out with the rotation, grab it here, do the curl in thing, hand up, curl in, hand down, curl out, and rotate your hand face up, and let your pinky and pinky and ring rotate around each other, and the card is in your hand. So one more time, flicker, rotate it around, grab it here, come in and rotate up. Full speed, full speed, looks like that. So there was Zach's twirl. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So here is a card twirl that uses two hands. It uses the deck in your left and a card in your right. It's called Ferris. It was taught by either Dan or Dave about a year ago. It's just a nice way to turn over a top card with a little bit of finesse, and that can be, used with other twirls. But basically, it was taught about a year ago by Dan and Dave on YouTube, and I thought I'd run you through it and give you some of my tips on how to do it. So basically, you're going to start with the deck in your left hand, mechanic's grip, push over the top card, and take your, it's like you're taking it like this, just between your thumb and index, but your middle finger's here as well. What you're going to do next is kind of rotate your middle and index around each other like that as you flip your wrist just a little bit. What's supposed to happen is the card is supposed to kind of, flip off of the right index and fall on top like that. And it does sometimes. As you can see, it should just come off kind of like that. But basically, after you take it, flip it over and just let it come back to its original position and flip it over like that. And with speed, it should just flip over. Same thing with this, you want to make sure you have a light touch when you're doing this and just practice slowly. So here, like that. And you can use your left thumb to kind of help it get around. But like I said before, this can be used in combinations when you're doing card twirling, like so. So I'll give you a front view, and we'll go over some more tips on the move Ferris. So from the front, here's Ferris. Looks like that. Looks really nice. Again, you're going to pinch the card here. Use your right middle finger to kind of push it around. It's going to swing around like this, up and over, land back on the deck face down, and then you're going to flip it over. And with speed, it should come straight off the index finger. In this, you still want to have a light touch and just kind of, swing it around, just like that, You can even do sound effects like Andrei, Jikh. And see, from here you can actually see it'll come around, and it's almost, it's almost parallel with my index finger, and that's where it just kind of comes off, like so. And that can be comboed into your different card twirls, like that. So there is Ferris. I use Ferris generally when I'm transitioning from twirling a card in my right hand to placing it back on the deck. Just because it has that nice transition-y feel. On all of these, it's a reoccurring thing, but make sure that you have a light grip when you're doing it, because if you don't, it's just not going to look fantastic, and you want all your card twirls to look fantastic. So there's Ferris. It's kind of a shorter thing. Let's get into some moves you can do with your left hand when card twirling. So far we've been over moves you can do with your right hand, and that includes flicker, flicker 1.5, as well as Zach's flicker, and Ferris. Looks like that. Now we're going to get into some moves you can do just with your left hand. So the first one I'd like to go over is Andrei Jikh's Bullet, which is taught on Genesis, which is his cardistry DVD. It looks like this. Like flicker, there's not much going on, but it's all on the wrist. So I'm not going to teach it, I'm just going to go over it very quickly. Well, it's like teaching it. I'm just going to give you some tips. I did not create this move, it is Andrei Jikh's, but it is commonly used in conjunction with flicker and other card twirling moves. So, to get into this, what you're going to do is hold the deck in mechanics grip, push the top card forward, and pull it down below the deck like this. And that is being held by your index finger on the bottom. Next, what you want to do is extend your index. This is just what I do. This might not be the way Andrei teaches it. Push your index forward, and that's going to let the card kind of turn to the side, pivoting on the middle finger. So from the beginning, push it forward, and I like to flick my wrist down like that, just to give it that, like, bang, there's a card. Check it out. Okay, anyway, you're here. You're going to extend your index. That's going to go forward like this, and that's going to cause the card to turn, like so. When you're here, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the card clipped between the middle and index of the left hand. So from the beginning, we're here, push forward like this, clip, and as you clip, you're going to turn your hand upside down, like so. So from the beginning, push forward and push with the index, flip over as you clip, and that's what's going to give it its main twirling motion. When you're here, turn your hand back face up and bring the card back to the top by contracting your middle finger, like so. That's going to bring the card here, and the card is face up. So you could just use this move to turn the card face up or face down if you wanted to. I generally don't do that. But once it's here, what I do is I put my thumb on top, and I just drag it to the bottom of the deck, like that. So at full speed, it looks like this. Again, clip the card on the bottom, push forward, clip as you turn your hand over, turn it back face up, and put it to the bottom. I'll give you a front view now. So here's bullet from the front. Looks like this. Looks pretty cool. I've used it in a few of my videos, a lot more than a few of my videos. Anyway, so we're here. Push the card down with your index as you kind of, do that kind of motion. Push forward with your index finger here. Push forward and turn your hand over and turn it back and drag it to the bottom. Full speed. And basically Andrei uses that in conjunction with flicker, and you could even use it in conjunction with all the other twirls that we've learned, and it looks really great. So there's that. You don't want to have so much of a light touch, because if you have more of a light touch, the card is just going to fall. But when you do it, make sure to use that momentum principle, because if you look, the card will flop back and forth. You want to make use of that as you turn your hand. Whoops. See, there we go. I didn't have too much of a grip on that. So you're here, push it forward, let it flop over, and bring it back to the bottom. One more time, full speed. If you do it correctly, bullet can be a really good addition to your card twirling routine. Looks like this, and let's get into it. So basically it starts the same as bullet. You're going to pull the card down, and here I'm using my left middle finger to kind of rotate the card like this. As I do that, it's going to rotate this way towards you, or clockwise, and then I'm using the rest of my fingers to just push it up on top of the deck. So just does that. It's pretty simple. Basically it can be used to do bullet, and then you could segue that into the card around the deck, and some other, one-handed card twirling things that you come up with. I don't know. So here it is from the front. Looks like this. Not very hard, but it's fun to do that straight into bullet and combo it that way. So basically starts the same as bullet. Use your middle finger to rotate it this way. Right, so it's rotating towards you, and swing it around onto the top of the deck. So yeah, there's that, and just combo it into bullet however you want, and there you go. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I put a lot of work into it, and it's all for free, and hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like or something, and hopefully I'll do some more videos like this in the future. Maybe not necessarily handling cards, but talking about Magic or talking about different kinds of aspects of Magic or how to improve your performances. I'm hoping to do something different like that in the future.